Go ahead and unmute yourself. Sorry about little delay. Go ahead and ask your questions. Today we will take only questions. If you have any, please go ahead and ask your questions.
Sir, can you explain diphthong?
Vishal, diphthong is a vowel. There are two types of vowel. One is the simple vowel like a and a. Diphthong is a vowel which has two vowels mixed together. Vowels like a and o are examples of diphthongs. Understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. I see several people here, roughly 20 plus people. So unmute yourself and ask your questions if you have more. Okay. No questions for anybody? Because last Sunday you had your qualifying exam, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Was there anything difficult about the exam? Any difficulty in particular?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, it was easy.
Good. So what the 4 weeks are over. In that case, are you working with the 5th week? Have you
Yes,
any,
sir.
any other questions about rest of the 4 weeks that you have?
Sir, I have doubt in question of qualifier.
Okay.
What is the meaning of maximally, word maximally?
Can you tell me the context where this word was used?
It is comprehension question, sir.
So what was the sentence? Can you tell me the sentence? You were asking question about a word, right?
Yes, sir.
And your question is, what does it mean?
Maximally.
You are asking what that word means, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This must be used before some word, right?
The sentence was when two separated bodies that each are maximally known come to interact and then separate again.
Maximally means in a maximum possible way.
Like
Okay, in a maximum possible manner.
the option correct soon is the to the greatest possible degree.
No, it depends on the question. I'm not clear about questions. I'm telling you what the word means. Okay.
Okay.
If you tell me the question completely, then I can answer that question. Are you guys doing some practices for listening, speaking, reading, etc.? Nobody is doing any practice? Okay, so seems like there aren't questions for today, Aishwarya. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so what we can do is, this is just the first week after the qualifying exam. So let's close it for today. And then maybe for next week, we will do some more exercises or something. Next week, I don't know if I can come. But in the following week, we'll do more exercises with the
Sir, can you hear me?
with this session. We'll do more exercises at that time. Okay. Sonali, you have a question?
Yes, sir. I have a question. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Sir, I have a question from the qualifier exam.
Okay.
Sir, one question is there. Pick the odd one out based on the initial sound. Pit, bit, sorry, not this one. Near, dear, tear, gear.
Okay. So what's the question? Which one is odd out of this?
Yes, sir. Initial sound.
Pick the odd one out based on the initials. Okay, so you see the answer. So the answer is gear because that is not an alveolar sound. Okay.
Sir, what about the rest one?
They are all alveolar sounds. The first sound in all these words
Sir,
are.
could you please increase your volume?
No, my volume is fine. Do you not hear me? My volume is fine. Meaning the volume here. What is this coming in? Vishal Singh, can you quit out of this? Who is presenting this thing? Uh, so, uh, can you hear me, Sonali? Sonali, can you hear me? Seems like there is some issue with her audio. Okay. All right, then there is some problem with her audio. Oh, you can hear me, right? So what I was saying is, because I cannot hear you, the problem, see, the answer to this question is gear, because they are all similar sounding words. But the question says, find which one is odd on the basis of the first sound. Na, da, and ta in all first three words are one type of sound. Ga is another type of sound. So this question is based on places of articulation. And if you understand the places of articulation, you will understand that ga is a voice sound. That's not important, but it's a velar sound, not an alveolar sound. This is why it is separate from rest of the three. Clear?
So, sir, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So this question is regarding this quiz one that we have for English 2. So the first question was the speech by Steve Jobs. So the first answer is actually few. So it goes like good morning dash, then the sentence ends, and then there's dash. We were up till 3 o'clock last night finishing up this advertisement, and it asks us to choose the most appropriate discourse. And the options were ouch, wow, and few. And I went through the video where Steve Jobs gives this speech, and he did use few. But don't you think it's kind of sort of subjective? If he would have used wow instead, would that have been actually wrong?
You are saying that the requirement for answering this question was watching that video?
Exactly the opposite, actually. I understand that nobody would, that the paper setter did not expect us to watch the video. And that's why it's a bit vague. Like I could have used wow.
No. I'm asking you a different question. My question is, are you saying that one cannot answer this question without watching the video?
Maybe they can, but because of the options, they're too vague.
Can you put the question, practice question, right? Can you put the practice question here, Aishwarya? Is it ready?
It's a quiz one question, sir.
Quiz one question.
I can share my screen if you want.
Yeah, try sharing it. Let me see the question. Usually it doesn't happen that we have any requirements of watching or doing anything. Let me see.
One second, sir.
Sure, take your time.
Yeah, can you see right now?
The question is on discourse markers.
Okay.
Discourse markers in speech.
Okay.
So I'll post the paragraph in the chat.
Now we have it here, so don't post it. I can see that. So subscribe speech on YouTube based on the above data. Answer the question. There are multiple questions, fill in the blanks. Fill in the blank with the most fitting discourse marker among the options given below. So you see this, if you read this thing, okay, this
Yeah.
Steve Jobs name is used here. Now I understand it better. Is used here just for copyrights and other things. So leave a Steve Jobs. It could be anything, anybody just speech. Okay.
Okay.
But if you just read the first sentence, and you can read more, obviously,
Yes.
it's not subjective given the three options. So nobody would say, ouch.
Yeah. So the ouch is striken off. I agree to that, but
If you,
I think wow was still okay.
if
Like
you
the
read,
person the
if you-
person is surprised. He looks at his watch and he's surprised that, oh my God, we were up till 3 o'clock in the morning.
that happens if you read only the first sentence.
Okay.
If you read it further, of course, I don't see the question number 2 based on this one. It's not a disgust, but it's a sense of what does few,
Relief.
not also relief. See, wow is a sense of surprise with joy.
Okay. Yeah.
So that is not intended discourse marker in this sentence. So when you are up until 3 and if you read it further,
Yeah.
the wow won't come for that. Of course, there is no specific rule which
Yeah.
tells you
Yeah.
that, but that's true for all discourse markers. And our idea is to understand what discourse markers are and how they appear, and also look at just this discussion that we are having. If we use wow, we were up until 3 o'clock last night finishing up this advertisement. So let's say somebody is working on an advertisement. I want to show it to you in a minute. See what you think of it. I have been back for about 8 to 10 weeks. I have been working back for about 8 to 10 weeks, and we have been working really hard. Okay.
Yeah.
So and further. So out of the two, if you have to pick, it won't be wow.
Okay.
Now your question, I hope you understand what I am trying to answer. That your question is, what goes wrong if I put wow?
Yes.
Maybe somebody will say it and somebody will understand it also.
Yeah.
But the point is, what's the appropriate one?
Yeah, exactly.
Get it? So in this case, it's based on this thing. If as a discourse marker, it appears that it will be with a sense of relief. Will we finally we are done types.
Yeah.
So a sense of what does wow say? I just said something. It doesn't come. That doesn't come here.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the point of this question.
Right.
All
I
right.
get it, sir.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you brought this out, and because sometimes when we discuss such things in little more details, my first concern, because we are not in the same place, so my first concern is, did we make a mistake? It's possible that we made a mistake in the question, because this is multiple levels of doing, and it's human error. But when we discuss such questions, it's not finding out what is right or what is wrong. Such discussions help us figure out what will be the appropriate one in that context, on such a context.
Yeah. A lot of my friends got that answer wrong, just like me.
So this is subtle.
Yeah.
But if the point is, if you understand discourse in a careful way and to the layers of appropriateness, then it's not really subtle.
Hmm.
You see, somebody can say, ouch, we were 1, 2, 3. That depends on if you are looking at the video.
Correct.
And you can figure out. But from the text, there are certain limitations that we have. For example, we cannot activate typing. We cannot take sentences from it
Hmm.
on this platform. So we are trying various options to put certain types of questions for getting the point across. So people can get wrong, but our idea is also not to trick people.
Yep.
Trick is one thing which we don't work on in test exams or instruction. But intricacies to pay attention to for different levels, in this exam, not exam, in this class, there are people at different levels of understanding.
Right.
They need different kinds of things. So we are trying to put something for everybody. So,
Yeah. So I have another question.
Sure.
It's about this. There is this sentence called "They gave him an award,"
Mhm.
and according to this question, it has 2 complements.
Mhm.
Can you identify them for me, please, sir?
Yeah, the him and award.
Him and award. But I thought complements are something that is essential for a sentence
Correct.
to be complete. But if I remove him and award, it would the sentence would just be they gave him.
So if you simply say they gave him, does this sentence not sound incomplete to you?
Yeah, it does. And
so
it's
so
the
wait,
confusion is because it has 2 complements. I'm not sure which one to remove
coming.
and test.
I'm coming to that. So
Okay.
award is definitely a compliment, you understand?
Yeah.
Now the question is him a compliment or not?
Yeah, right, exactly.
So now that for that we need to understand a few things in this. So here are those things. I gave an award. They gave an award. Okay. Just look at this sentence without him. Probably
Okay.
this sentence doesn't sound incomplete to you.
Yes.
They gave an award.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The reason for that is we need to understand English and uses of verb. And for that matter, in Hindi also or other languages also, what I'm going to say next does not change. Give is a ditransitive verb. It needs two complements. So you may ask, what is a ditransitive verb? Ditransitive verbs are, in the other way, is simply a verb which needs two complements. Is it the only verb? No, there are many verbs, like teach. What happens is we have heavy impact of our own languages on our English.
Right.
So in our languages, it is possible to drop this object also. We do drop subjects at times, but we can drop objects also. And therefore it sounds okay to us. But if you ask some people who grew up speaking English, they will tell you that this sentence is incomplete. They don't need to know this is a ditransitive verb. Okay.
Right.
They will tell you the sentence is incomplete. Gave award to whom? I teach, let's say, if I simply say I teach English, to us it sounds complete. But to those who grew up speaking English, this sounds incomplete. You teach English too. So, therefore, you see, such sentence can be written in 2 different ways. Also, you can say, I gave an award to him.
Yeah.
So this to him or him an award,
yeah,
that's still an object, we are just alternating it.
Yeah, position, yeah.
And if you have heard something like direct object and indirect object.
Yes.
This is the case where we use direct object and indirect object, because for all verbs where you have just one object, or one complement, they are all direct objects. And therefore, we don't even talk about directness. So what is direct? The direct is out of the two, one is more required than the other.
Okay.
Therefore, the first option I gave him sounds incomplete to you
Yes.
because that one is more required. And the one that is more required is the direct object. Okay.
Right.
And the one which is required but less required than the other one, we are okay because our languages sanction such kind of sentences. But English won't. And therefore, in our pursuit of achieving complete accuracy, a sentence like this definitely, must have two complements. One a direct object, one an indirect object. And someone who knows this, for them, this question is very simple. Very simple. Like I gave you teach. Only two comes to my mind right now. There are more words with right transitive.
So if we were to convert this sentence into an indirect speech.
No. We are not talking about indirect speech. We are talking about direct and indirect objects.
No. Sorry, I meant passive voice.
Okay.
If we were to convert, because there's another issue I have in understanding the direct object and indirect object. Thank you for bringing that up. If we convert this into a passive voice, this would be they gave him an award. An award was given to him by them.
Correct.
Right. And how would the direct object and indirect object change in that sense?
So you will see that only see what happens if you in a very canonical fashion, if you understand passivization.
Yeah.
Then only direct object can be shuffled. Direct object goes to the subject position.
Subject, okay.
Indirect object will never go. So you cannot say to him an award, something like that, an award was given to him is possible, but you cannot make him as the subject.
Okay, because he was a receiver?
Definitely, a recipient, yes. Recipient. So it's an indirect object and only, see.
And it will always be an indirect object no matter what voice we use, right?
Definitely.
Got it. Yeah.
No, but I would advise you not to look at this thing, not to use passive voice as a test for this.
Okay.
Because passive voice has some connection. There is something with active and passive, but if you understand English, or for that matter, any language at a higher stage, active sentences and passive sentences are two different types of sentences.
Right.
So it's not fair to look at one over the other because, to explain that, I need to tell you more. But at this point, I can simply say that is not a test, what do you say, tool to diagnose two objects.
Okay.
So the two object is this one itself that we can use it this way. There are some verbs where two objects are required, where one is more required than the other. Therefore, it sounds little odd to us.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Okay. I saw one more hands up. Aniket, you have a question?
Sir, I just wanna ask that how we can differentiate between wa and ya sound.
What do you mean?
We can see her off, here her and off. The transition from her to off have a wa or ya sound, right?
We can, okay, I understand the question. So we can see. Chindra, please mute yourself. Tell me the sentence again, Aniket.
Sir, I can give the exact question. It came in my qualifier exam.
Yes.
But you have to wait a minute.
Yes. Sure,
Okay.
sure. I'll wait.
Yeah, like you can go on for the next question if anyone
Sure,
has.
sure, sure, sure.
In the meantime, I
Ali,
can.
you have more questions or you are done? You can raise your hands down. Okay, that's all right. If anybody has questions, they can unmute themselves and talk. That's not a problem, but you go ahead. You see, wa and ya are two different semi-vowels in English, or for that matter, in any language. And when we say something very fast, between two words, it sounds like one of the two sounds are coming. One of the two sounds is coming in between two words. So the question that you are talking about is of that nature, but I need to understand the exact question to tell you the answer. Do we have access to that question, Aishwarya? What he's talking about? The girl, what did he say? The girl?
So I have another question in the meanwhile.
Yeah, please go ahead.
It's again one of the questions in exams.
Sure.
So they asked which of the following discourse markers is used to express something not good? And the correct answer was fine, F-I-N-E.
Okay.
And I don't understand, like I can use fine as a discourse marker for saying something positive as well.
That's correct, but maybe in the given options, fine is the only one which fits that requirement. See, if I am disgusted or not happy, I can say fine. It's okay. Meaning, okay, fine. Let's move ahead. Where fine is not a sentence marker, or it's not a verb or even an adjective, it's being used as discourse marker. If I'm responding based on understanding what you are saying.
The other options were clearly and contrary.
Clearly and
contrary.
Contrary. So, well, definitely. So, this discourse marker is for what?
So, to express something not good.
So clearly is not the one that we will use. I'm giving you a context, right? We are talking about something, and let's say after a point I'm fed up with I'm fed up simply that I'm unable to make you understand something. So I won't say clearly. I can use clearly different. Clearly, I am unable to convince you. The other one also we can use in some context. But if I can simply say fine, and that discourse marker is that is what this question means, that we are using it meaning.
Oh, I actually missed the idea of using fine just as a single word. I always thought of using fine and then something to express.
Remember, see, this is what is this we are talking about. We're talking about discourse. Discourse means what is discourse? Discourse simply means it's a level beyond sentence. Okay, it can be taken as conversation.
Yeah.
So see, sentences are like this is English class, this is a computer, this is a bottle, Taj Mahal is in Agra. They are all grammatical sentences, but they don't constitute a discourse. Okay, discourse is about a context, people talking in meaningful sentences. And in that, there are a lot of elements that simply mark the discourse. They are not full sentence or phrases or anything. So in that context, this is just a marker of discourse.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So, Aniket, I see your question. Which semi-vowel occurs in the transition of words toe and injury? In the sentence, he sustained a toe injury. Toe injury. So yeah, see, the answer is wa, because just focus on the two words, toe and injury. If we say this fast, it seems like the last sound before the next word starts is wa. toe injury and not ya. Therefore, this. So again, in parallel with our discussion about the previous thing, all I can tell you is these are the questions related to drawing your attention to what happens when we speak. And in transition between two words, the sounds that come are either ya and wa, because this is one of the features of semi-vowel. Okay?
Sir, I got the exact question.
Aniket, did you? Oh, okay. This was posted by. Sorry. Okay, go ahead. What was the exact question?
Sir, it says which semi-vowel occurs in the transition between the words me and off in the sentence he pushed me off the chair.
What semi-vowel occurs in between off and
Me and off.
me and
Yeah.
off? Me off. Me off. Me off. So that will be ya.
Sir, but is there a way to easily understand if it is
The
wa or
only
ya?
way is practice. This Aniket, only way is practice and paying attention. So look at how I'm also trying to do the same thing. So when I say that just to let's focus on, and the question is making things abundantly clear to you, even though it is given in a full sentence, it only focus on the sound, on the word me and off, right?
Yeah.
Me. So say the sentence fully. He pushed me off the chair, me off the chair, me off, me off.
Like
So
it kind of sound like wa in the initial stage, but
morph, that will be morph. That will sound as morph, morph,
okay.
morph. But we don't say morph, we say me off, me off.
So there is a sound like
So the
me
see,
That's why we are saying yeah.
no. Listen. The first word sounds as me. Me and off, when we say straight away, the first word sounds as me off. And end of the first word, apparently it sounds as, it's not there, but it sounds as there is a yes. Read the previous question in the chat box that Shreya has put. Read the previous question. In that one, toe injury. In that one is the example is war. Understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how these questions are designed to draw your attention to a specific kind of phenomena that happens in spoken language. Okay.
Sir, I have another question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
One second. I'm sharing the screen again.
Sure.
So this question, it asks us to identify the adverb phrase in the sentence. And the correct answer includes a verb, which is while chewing on a pink lobe of kola nut. And I thought we can't have verb inside a phrase.
We can't have a word inside a phrase.
Verb inside a phrase.
Verb inside a phrase. No, you can have a whole sentence inside a phrase. Why not? I thought a phrase. Okay, then I don't understand what phrase means exactly. No. See, phrase has much wider meaning. Mostly when we understand phrase, and this is not wrong understanding. So hear me out. A phrase, the generic understanding of a phrase is a group of words which has not reached the level of a sentence. Okay? In other words, a part of a sentence. But if you look at this carefully, while chewing on a pink lobe of kola nut, this whole thing by itself is not a sentence. There is a verb within it. There is a sentence within it. But this itself is not a sentence. Therefore, it is this whole thing makes sense only when it becomes part of a sentence. So therefore, this chunk is a phrase. And within a phrase, we can have another sentence. It's possible.
Okay. And sir, I think there are more than one verb. So nodded, apologized is also a verb in this sentence, right?
So wait a minute. Let me see. The old clerk whose name I have now forgotten nodded and apologized while chewing on a pink loaf of kola nut. Yeah, so there are not one verb. So basically,
Multiple.
this is a compound sentence where
Yeah.
they are true. You are right. There are two sentences together. So that means the old clerk whose name I had forgotten nodded while chewing the pink loaf of kola nut. The second sentence is the old clerk whose name I had forgotten apologized while chewing on a pink loaf of kola nut. You understand?
Yeah.
So the two sentences are clubbed together because the rest of the things are the same. And this is what happens in normal discourse, normal speech when we speak. We don't speak full part of the two sentences with one small difference. So we don't say things like, I'm going to school, I'm going to study. You understand? We say, I'm going to school to
That's why
study.
we use and conjunctions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's the point.
But sir, my question is, since we have more than one verb, so
Uh-huh.
we can also have more than one adverb. So why don't we choose the adverb for nodded or apologized? And why did we choose it for? Oh no, actually we did choose it for nodded and apologized. Why didn't we choose it
Doesn't
for?
make a difference for what you choose for both.
Because chewing itself is a verb. What about the adverb of a chewing?
No. Chewing itself is not an adverb.
It's a verb.
It's a word because there it seems like there is a full see, there is another phrase in this sentence whose name I have forgotten.
That's an adjective.
That's an adjective because it's a phrase modifying the
Noun.
clerk. Noun. Noun clerk. Right? The other
Yes.
clerk. So this whole phrase is modifying that. But this whole phrase is modifying one of the
Actions.
accents or maybe both.
Yeah.
So therefore, it is not important whether it is modifying one or the other or both.
Okay.
But this is an adverb. An adverbial, this is basically, I'm not sure if this has already been discussed, but yeah, adverb phrase. So this is an adverbial phrase, correct?
Yes.
So that's the question say. This is an adverbial phrase.
Yeah.
So you see, in general, again, this is the larger point here is, and I'm making my other points also, telling you that there is no trick in these things. These questions are also made part of learning. See, when we think about adverbs, so we usually think like, if I ask you, give me an example of an adverb. You will give me an example of a phrase. You will give me examples like
of a word, yeah, a single word.
Loudly or slowly.
Yeah, slowly, right.
So that is because our understanding of an adverb is only limited to a word. And whenever we look for an adverb, we look only for a word. And this purpose here is to show you that there are more ways adverbs can be used in sentence and discourse. So certain chunk of word, a whole phrase can have adverbial function or purpose.
That was nice. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. That's it.
Sir, I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, the question asks the house, identify the part of speech of the underlined word. The house at the end of the street was painted yellow and yellow is underlined. So, what part of speech is yellow here?
You tell me.
So, because it is after painted, so I thought it would be adverb, but the answer says it is adjective.
Okay.
My initial thought was because it was the house is the subject here, and
see, Aniket, the point is, a particular word becomes adjective or adverb not merely based on its location in the sentence, where it is located. It's an adjective or an adverb according to its assigned function. Okay. So the house, so now read it carefully, the sentence, the house at the end of the road or end of the street was painted. This can end here, right?
Yeah.
How was the house painted? Meaning, what was it yellow tells you the color of what?
The house.
Does it have anything to do with painted? Meaning it was painted in yellow color. But eventually this yellow is the color of the house.
Okay.
Therefore, it has adjectival function.
Okay.
Get it? It is definitely not a verb. It is definitely not a conjunction. It doesn't connect anything. So you have to pick between adjective and adverb, and it tests whether you understand the purpose of a particular element in a sentence or not. You just heard the previous discussion was about adverbs, right? The whole function of that entire chunk was adverbial. The whole function of this word is adjective. All right?
Got it, sir.
Okay.
So, sir, if yellow, the sentence could be like this: the yellow house at the end of the street, then also it will be adjective, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. The yellow house at the end of the street was painted. That's perfectly
Okay.
fine.
But is there any way to
No.
convert yellow like a adverb? I mean not exactly in this sentence, but using some other sentence.
I will have to think of a context. I can't tell you yes or no from top of my mind right now. If the theoretical answer is if it has adverbial function, then it is an adverb.
Okay, but my question is,
No, I get
yellow
your
can
question.
also be used as adverb, right? There is a possibility.
I am not answering that part because I don't have a context ready in my mind right now. But I am telling you, if a word has adverbial function, yellow or green or anything, then it will become an adverb.
Okay.
So, for example, look at this. In this case, it is put next to the verb, but it has nothing to do with the verb. So,
Okay.
what is an adverb? What do I mean by adverbial function? I simply mean that the word should be describing something about the action of the word, action in the sentence. Okay, then
Yeah.
it is an adverb. All right. Okay,
Yes, sir.
guys. Good to see you today. And we'll bring this is see I am happy that you at least some of you are bringing these things which will be helpful to others. If more people bring these kinds of questions, I can explain. I have absolutely no problem explaining 1, 2, or 20 questions in a session. We are working on bringing some of the things on our side also for discussions, but we do other sessions for that purpose. And in this session, I want to give you full opportunity first than me speaking about something that I want to say. I've already spoken enough about whatever we have to say, keeping this course in mind. So feel free, take advantage of this situation. And if not, then we will also bring few things for discussions to add, to use this opportunity to add little bit more to the course. See you for next time. I not making any announcement today, but next weekend is IIT Madras's convocation on not next weekend, it's on 19th. So I think when is the 19th? I think our session will be on 17th only, right? This so maybe I shall be able to come. If not, I'll let you know. We'll send you a message. But we will come. We are not canceling our session, so it will continue this way. So see you next week. Until then, take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Aishwarya, please close. Yeah.
Sure, sir.